Folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and the other day when we were doing the live, we started on our little fairy dust necklaces. Here's the bottle that we made while we were on the live. And I've got the other pieces to make it, most of them anyway, down here on the mat, so I figured we could get it started. Now, this one is going to be a little trickier than normal because there's a little twist to it, and we'll show you what that is when we go down on the mat. Okay, the trick is, well, we haven't done our bottle of glitter yet, which we will still be doing, but the little rose I'm going to put in the middle. The hole is in the middle of the bead as opposed to going sideways. So we're going to put this on like this and this with these little ball spacers between. We're using these ball spacers because they have a relatively big size hole. And we're going to do that because we need to use a thin wire. This one is 24 gauge. And we're going to have to put in 2 wires. So we'll cut this in half. And when I say we're going to need to put in 2 wires, we need to make one to go to the top and one to go to the bottom. It's because this has to go through here. So we're going to bend this up like so and bring it around like this. And now we're going to wrap this up right here just a little bit. So we'll take our wire and wrap it around like 3 times maybe. And then we're going to trim it off. Tuck it in. Now what's going to happen is this one needs to come up straight, but we're going to take this ball spacer and it's going to go down and it'll go over the top of those of our spins there. So then we're going to put on our little leaf here for the top portion of this. Now what I'm going to do is something a little bit different, and that is I'm going to take my pliers and we're going to bend this wire in half, doubling it up. And then we're going to cut this extra off down here that we have sitting here. And tuck it a bit. I think I need to cut just a little bit more off. It's not, well, maybe it is all right where it's at. Then we're going to take this and do our normal wrap here. Well, actually, I cut off more than I needed to as the beads slid down. So we're going to bring her over. And that's all of it coming over. And then we'll get our bell making pliers like we would normally. And then we're going to put it in, go up and over and around. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to wrap this like we would normally, except for it's come apart here. We don't want that. We want it to be right there with each other. And then we're going to wrap this little piece up here. It should wrap, but it wants to be difficult. And so we will just have to do it this way. We've got the first one on, and I actually will admit that I cut it apart and redid it, and we're going to do it this same way over here. So now we need to get the second wire through the flower's hole. So it needs to go through here. Come on, baby, let's go through. Now I've checked this. I know it will go through. It's just being difficult right now. So I will work on it and get it in.
You making a video?
Yes. Now that I got it to go in, we pull this up pretty equally here. Goes this direction. And then we're going to take one of the wires. The wire from the back is the best. And we're going to wrap it around the other wire, like 2 or 3 times. And then instead of cutting it off, we're just going to straighten it up and let it go up the edge where the other wire went. Now we'll put on this little ball spacer, because it will go right over the top of our twist there. Then we're going to take our leaf and we're going to feed both wires through it. Come on, baby. You should go through there. Ugh. The other one went through fine, so why isn't this one? We must have something inside that's blocking it. Just a touch. Let's see if we can figure it out from this side. And it looks like it might be just right there at the very beginning, because it doesn't seem to want to go through that last little bit. So let's carefully ream it just a teeny bit. And see if that gave it what we need. Almost, but not quite. So we do need to get this leaf through here. And I may need to switch leaves with a different one if it is too difficult here. Oops, I just broke it. I think. Yeah, I took a chip out of it. So with that chip out, you'd think it would go straight on, but it is not. So we are going to have to get a different bead, because that just does not want to work. So I will be back in a moment with a new bead. Try a different one here. And that one went straight on, so no problem. So we slide that up to the top. So here is our strand. And now what we're going to do is, here's what I did with the other one we want our fairy to hang on. So we want our loop to go this way. So we're just going to do both strands instead of just one. We'll just bend both over, and we're going to do this just like we would if it was one strand instead of 2. And we're just gonna, though I think might just do it right on the bell making pliers instead of trading it. But I do need to get both strands coming the same. See, that one's not quite coming at the same time. So we need them both to come at the same time. And then we'll cut both off and tuck them both in. So now we have this with a loop at both sides. We'll need to straighten this up a little. It's a little bit crooked. That's all right. But now we have double loops instead of just a single loop, so that even though that is a very light wire, it was 24. I think it's 24 instead of 22. Yeah, 24 gauge. So there is our our bead strand all ready to go. Other than we do need to put our fairy down here on the bottom. So let's get a little jump ring, and we're going to use a teeny tot. We'll just drop one out. Well, I said we were going to drop one out, but that's not what we did it? Was it? Actually, we're going to put one on either end. We will need a couple more when we go to stick it onto the bottle, but right now we're just going to put the fairy on. So we'll open this little bubby up, put on our fairy, and then the bead strand. And now we'll close her up. Oop, come on baby, close. Oh, you are. Well, no you're not. And there is our fairy hanging off with our rose and our leaves. And we'll just put this one on the other side. When we put the next one on, we won't need to open this. We'll just now when our bottle is finished, this will just now hang down the side like so. So we have two more things we need to do. Number one is we need to make its chain. And number two is we need to put the glitter in the bottle and hook it to this. Now this can be hooked up right now because we do it is probably dry. The cork is probably dry, so we can hook the cork with onto the into the bill. Oop, don't drop our bell. And we'll tighten this baby up. So the bell and the cork are put together. And now I need to put the glitter in the bottle, and then I need to make the chain. So to make the chain, we're just going to get some of this chain here, and we want 18 inches. So we'll just get the ruler out, we'll measure 18 inches and cut that off. So there is 12. And 18 right here. So put that away. Now we have our chain. So our chain can go through our bail. And we need to get one more of this size jump ring, the regular one, and a lobster claw. And one large one. So we'll take the large one and we'll open it up, and it'll go on one side of our chain. close it up. Now, I noticed that one of these hooks are still in here, so we need to get this off of here. This is part of a link that is stuck to our chain there, and so we don't want that there. It will scratch something fierce if it's still there, so we will get that out of there if we can. And quite frankly, if I can't, I will cut this link off and go into the next one, because I do not want this hunk of chain link sitting here so that it can scratch people. And it doesn't seem to want to come out. Usually they come out relatively easily, but that one is not coming out. So we're going to take our ring back off, see if we can get it out one more time. And it is not coming out. That one's pretty stuck. So we'll just cut that link off and go into the next link. So there, that one is fixed. And now we will drop down and get a lobster claw. And we want to make sure that this lobster claw is going to work before we finish it up here. And I always test it, because sometimes they stick or they don't work at all. So since I just tested it, it worked fine. We will put it on the other side. Close her up. Okay, now we have our chain on the bell and the bell on the cork. So the next thing to do is we need to hook our little fairy dust bead charm onto the cork, and we need to put the glitter in the bottle and glue it onto the cork. So we can do this in one of two ways. We can put we're going to do multiple jump rings to put this together so it doesn't go hanging straight out to the side. If we do it this way, it'll drop down the edge of the cork. So what we've got going on here is we've got this on here. So we'll put this through here. Close her up. Same with this. Now this time though, when we put this one through the other jump ring at the top here, like so, now we will take and put it through the cork, through the little screw in the cork. Close her up. So there is our strand. See how when it would be hanging, it would hang with the weight from the glass here. So we have like this. Now we just need to put some our glitter in our bottle and glue it into the top here. So let's get some red and green glitter and we'll get that done. Here's our red and our green glitter to match our rose and their leaves. This glitter is not quite the right green that I want, I think. Well, we can put another, I have a couple of greens, so we'll start with this green at the very bottom. Then I'm going to go get the other green. Now this green is a little trickier to put in because it is fine and it doesn't have a, it's not in one of our squirt bottles. So what I want to do should have a little tray around here, but I'm not finding it. We'll use this dish. So I'm going to put this in here, and when I do this, we're going to go over, do it over the we're going to very carefully, and normally I do this with a little shovel, but I can't seem to see my shovel, so we'll just, oop. Pour it over the dish. Then we'll do our red. Put it in here. The red is splattering into the dish. We don't want that. Now we're going to go about 3/4 of the way up the bottle with the red to about where it's at the outer flower here. And we've reached that point now, so we'll close this up. And then we're going to go back to our light green again. So we'll just do what we just did and just pour in here. I think we're going to need just a touch more. Oop. Well, that dumped out a lot more than I wanted, but that's all right. We will leave it in here because it will tap down some. And then we'll put the other darker green here on this other side. And you need to tap it down because it will unsettle. See, it came down quite a bit when I tapped it. So there we go. There is our bottle of glitter. So we're going to set that aside while we clean this up some. Glitter does like to go everywhere. I had a friend that once said, when one person's using glitter, everybody's using glitter. Whether they want to or not. So anyway, there is our glitter all over my mat, I might add. So we'll not brush that off somewhat. And now we need to take our E6000. Put this in here just in case we drop it, because I have done that before and I don't want to have any more glitter all over. And so we open up our E6000 Oop, looks like it's coming out already. Put it around the edge of our bottle. And then push in our cork, making sure that you have your cork aligned the way you want it so that your bead strand is going the proper way. So push this guy in, and we're going to turn it a little bit because it's not lined up with our rose on the outside of the bottle, and we do want it to be. So there we go. And now that will hang like so. This needs to be pushed in just a little more. It's a little, looks like it's a little lopsided here. And there's our little bottle of glitter. There's our necklace, and here's our bead strand over here, which looks like it's bending back a little bit, which doesn't surprise me because it is a lightweight wire. But there we go. All done. So there is our little fairy dust necklace that we started on our live. I'm going to hold this because the glue is not dry, of course, on the cork, and we don't want to put a lot of strain on it so that it breaks open. But there is our glitter, our rose, and then as you saw, we doubled up this wire to make our bead strand, since the rose had the hole in the middle of it rather than through the sides and from side to side. So there we go. So I hope you enjoyed this cute little bottle with me. Like I say, this is the bottle that we started on our live the other day, yesterday, and I hope you enjoyed making it with me. Isn't that cute? I think it turned out really cute, even with the surprise addition of having to do this a little different, since the rose was drilled differently. But I think it's very nice. So anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we've been making a fairy dust necklace. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.